As I haven't done a Facebook ads video in a little while, I wanted to come back at you with one of these new Facebook ads videos talking about an observation we recently had at the agency, which came up once we were seeing a strange behavior with our ads where the performance was actually decreasing even though the creatives were working amazing. So in today's video, I want to talk to you about why your Facebook ads might not be working at the moment. What can you do to help increase the performance and make sure that you keep killing it with your ads? So I'm gonna go straight into the value and what's been happening right now. So we've actually noticed recently on some of our Facebook ad accounts that Facebook was actually increasing by a lot the CPM on high click-through rates creatives. So we noticed a sweet spot around the 1% click-through rate mark where Facebook is not really upping the CPM and we're actually getting a decent amount of people to the website. But it seems like with a lot of our accounts, as soon as we're passing the 1.5 to 2% click-through rate, which again means that this ad is working great, Facebook is like penalizing us with a higher CPM. And we noticed that in a lot of cases where Facebook was almost doubling the CPM as the click-through rate was increasing. So the more the click-through rate increased, the more Facebook actually rose the CPM. So basically kind of canceling the effects of that high click-through rate. We were a little bit disappointed, honestly, when we found that out because it seemed like Facebook was hindering our scaling process and did not really want us to perform as good as we potentially could with the ad creatives that we were pumping out. So the only way we found to combat that right now is through pumping out more ad variations of that same specific winning ad creative. So what we noticed is usually for the first couple of days that we launched one of these ad that was killing it, for maybe 3 or 4 days, CPMs were normal, click-through rate were high, therefore the ads were converting very good. Again, assuming you have a high converting website, obviously. But with that being said, for 3 or 4 days, things were running very smoothly. And then usually after the 4th, 5th day mark, things were starting to slow down pretty dramatically as CPMs increased. So ROAS would usually dip by almost a twofold sometimes. So the only way for us to really combat that is launch ad variations of that same ad. So again, changing slightly the pacing, we could potentially just cut it a little short, remove as small as 1 second to that same video. We just relaunch a very similar variation of that ad. And again, kind of always keep up with the cycle of that winning ad creative. Now there is a caveat to that, which you're pretty much never exiting the learning phase when that ends up happening to you. So it does suck. Like in some cases, we just left the ads up and running because even with the higher CPM, they were still performing great. But the only way short term for us to be able to keep up with a high performance with one of these ad creatives was to relaunch micro variations of that same creative and launch those every 3 or 4 days to keep up with that performance. So again, just a little tip I wanted to share with you guys is we've seen that happening at the agency. I'm sure a lot of people are potentially facing that right now. Very, very quick, short and sweet video, but hope you found some value into that. I invite you to comment down below if you've actually been facing that issue yourself and if you have any questions about what type of variations you could do. I mainly recommend that you play with pacing and that you potentially also play with the background music. Honestly, that could be 2 of the things that you really play with. Or you might not even have to do that. In some cases, we simply turned off the winning ad that was actually starting to decrease in performance, relaunched it under a new name, and it worked. Again, performance kind of went up. So that was a good sign that this was a winning strategy, but this is really short-term stuff. It won't really help you scale in the long term. If you scale in the long term, you're gonna have to find something that works. No matter how much Facebook is actually penalizing you for having a higher click-through rate, this is not something common in the sense that we've not seen that as a huge challenge to be found across all ad accounts, but it is definitely something that we've seen specifically on 2 or 3 accounts recently that led me to wanting to share that with all of you. Now, if you found some value in today's video, I invite you to actually check out our Facebook group in the description down below. That group, we're gonna share a lot of value every single day. We're actually already sharing a bunch of tips like the ones I've been sharing in today's video. So you get exclusive tips, you get some videos, a super long 25-minute case study that I've run down with a bunch of issues that most brands are actually facing right now within the TikTok space. That again is exclusive to our group members. So check this out in the comments down below. And if you're an e-commerce store owner watching this video, making at least $20,000 to $30,000 a month with your brand, I invite you to click on one of the links in the description and book in a very short demo call with our team where we'll take a look at your brand, see if you're a good fit for one of our e-commerce marketing programs and help you scale through ads. On that note, make sure you also check out other videos on the channel for some more useful e-commerce marketing tips, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.